Hello, this is Gihan Pereira. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to talk today about using AI for decision making. There's a question that came up in a masterclass that I was running last week about AI for leaders. This particular one was about AI for leaders in healthcare. And one of the participants brought up a concern and a question about using AI for decision making, especially when you're making decisions about patients, because it could be literally a life or death decision. And even if it's not as serious as that, you're still talking about people's health and well-being, which is really important. And the point that he was making, and he's exactly right, is that many AI tools, they will come to a conclusion, but it's not very easy to understand how they came to that conclusion. And you may have found that yourself if you're using ChatGPT, for example. You ask it a question or you prompt it to give you some information, and it very confidently gives you an answer, but you don't exactly know how it came up with that answer, whether it's true, whether it's accurate, why it chose that and not something else. And there have been examples, real stories, about people getting into trouble for that. There was a recent story about a lawyer in the USA who used ChatGPT to write a brief, which he submitted to the court, and to his horror, he discovered that ChatGPT had made up some of the references and some of the cases that he cited in the brief. And he was lucky. He was kind of let off lightly with a bit of a slap on the wrist. He was fined $5,000 for that, but it could have been much worse for his reputation and his career. And this is a problem with many AI tools. Contrast that, for example, with using Google. If you do a Google search and it gives you a link to a website, well, you can click the link and then make an intelligent decision about how credible that is, how useful it is, and whether you're going to use that to help you in making, say, a bigger decision. Whereas many AI tools don't do that. So how can you use AI for better decision making? Well, the first thing is, don't delegate your decision making to an AI tool. That's negligent, it's risky, and it's irresponsible. So don't get AI to make decisions for you, but use it to assist you in the decisions that you're going to make. And look, there's some small decisions that you're going to make where you could say, I'm going to delegate this to AI, and that's fine. For example, if you're using Google Maps to find your way to somewhere and it recommends one way rather than another because there's traffic on what would normally be the shorter route, then you may say, look, that's okay. It's not going to be a big deal if it's slightly wrong. But when you're making bigger decisions, then it's really important that you don't delegate that completely to AI. So what you should do instead is what you would do with any decision. You'd evaluate all the inputs that you're getting to help you make that decision. And AI is just one of those inputs. So how do you evaluate AI? Well, there are ways to look at the credibility of what an AI response is. There are ways to test it, to evaluate it, to do your own research, to talk to other people about the response before you decide to make a decision, especially an important decision. So if you're a leader or a manager, or let's face it, in any other role, you absolutely can use AI to help you with your decision making. But when it comes to important decisions, then take that with a grain of salt and evaluate the AI input just as you would evaluate any other input you take into making a decision. If you want some specific and practical ways to do that, I've got a worksheet here that you can download that will help you use AI for better decision making. So please download it, use it yourself, and share it with your team as well. AI is a really powerful tool for decision making if you use it responsibly. I'll see you in the future.